when I was really young, I was always writing, but I used to feel trapped, like I knew there was all this music inside of me, but I didn't feel like I couldn't get it out. I didn't know how to do it. I think at this stage in my life, I finally figured out how to write what each song needed. Sometimes you write a tune and you don't even know what it's about till you're finished, or you're almost like you're reviewing your own song. So looking at this, it's basically a love song, and it's gender neutral now that I actually look up the words. But in my mind, it was a guy and a girl. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from, and it's a guy that's pursuing a love interest, and he's pretty confident, or he's very kind of aggressive, and the woman is kind of hesitant. You can make up your own reasons why. And he's definitely pursuing her and trying to talk her into connecting. My son said his friend Dan is in town, and he worked in New Jersey, and he wants to come over and play with you. And I'd never really played with him before. You can mask your feelings. You can try and hide your smile. So he came over, and I was just sitting around, what can I sort of do with this with Dan? So I had this little jazz chord progression that I made up, and he came in and we kind of like, what do you want to play? He said, how about a John Mayer groove? So I just instantly changed this jazz chord progression into kind of what you heard. If you hear the studio version, it's really obvious that it's got this, kind of R&B kind of groove to it. You can mask the sunshine. The way I generally like to do vocal tunes is, whenever I hear a song title, it pops into my head, I write it down. This one was like scary because it's a blank slate. I had no idea what to do with this. And then I just started dabbling around with the word mask or something. I don't know where we were just so preoccupied with it. And a lot of the initial lyrics, had this sort of political slant to it. Like, I don't know about you guys, I've found one of the most stressful things is just having to deal with all the various attitudes that people have towards masks. So it was like writing this tune sort of talking about that, and I just realized another thing about being a songwriter. Sometimes you have to be able to hear an accident, hear something you didn't expect to hear, and that sounded good, and go with it. Other times you have to be willing to say, you know what, this sucks, this just isn't what this song's about. So I had written like 2 or 3 verses of lyrics, and I just threw them out. So this is a love song. But I didn't want to give up all the mask, didn't want to throw it all out. I had a few good lines in there, so I kept them, and then I adapted it. Dan was here, and he wasn't here that long, and we recorded like 3 or 4 songs, and then he was gone again. As a result, there's no hook. There's really no particular form that's a standard sort of form to it, and the word mask is just sort of sprinkled in here through the first 3 verses. I think the walls are coming down. I try to let the song write itself, if that makes any sense. It's like, it can be like, sometimes it's an inspiration, you get it down quickly. Other times it's trying to mine ore. Other times it's like a puzzle, the crafting. You've got pieces and you're trying to piece things together. And sometimes you just do things absolutely by accident. So the very last part of the song, pull you close and hope you'll stay. The last word is pull you close and hope you'll stay. So this guy's like, he's got her, but in spite of all this confidence he's been projecting throughout the whole tune, he really isn't. He's just hoping that this thing is going to actually work. The very last 2 chords of the song, I wanted to create a vehicle for Dan to do some very cool drumming, on it. As long as he's over here, he's got some chops, and let him use it. And so I immediately blew the second chord. It wasn't the chord I was supposed to play, but I said, that sounds really cool, So then I just stayed with it, and so it just gave the song that last little bit of hesitancy on at least the confidence level of this male pursuant, or any kind of pursuant. I said it's now gender neutral, so.